Do you feel like your days are dragging by? That you're constantly checking the time, waiting for that sweet, sweet lunch break? Or perhaps are you just looking for ways to make your day a bit more enjoyable and meaningful? I recently read Ali Abdaal's Feel Good Productivity, and from this I took 3 powerful bits of advice for making your workday more fun, and also added on my own tip at the end, which gives us the 4 Ps. The 4 Ps allow us to not only become more productive, but also end the day with a greater sense of accomplishment than ever before. So if you're looking for some simple, scientifically backed methods to increase your productivity, but also your mood, stay tuned. The first P Ali speaks about in his book is play. As much as we want to have goals and try and improve what we're doing, it's also important to have fun in the process. There is an abundance of research out there that shows that if we enjoy something, we're not only more likely to stay motivated, but also improve. As Ali puts it, if we integrate the spirit of play into our lives, we'll feel better and do more too. Now, a lot of jobs may feel like there is no space for fun. If you work behind a screen at an office or at home like I do, it may feel impossible to add enjoyment to your day. Ali argues that by reimagining the labels we assign to our daily to-do list, we can transform our day into a journey, into an adventure where each task is a dragon to slay or a riddle to solve. But being completely honest with you, this part didn't really resonate with me. Sending an email doesn't exactly sound like a fanatical adventure. But the following part of the play aspect did resonate with me, and I think is something we can all apply in our lives. Play is not only adding fun into our lives, but it's also toning down the seriousness of it. When you get stressed, everything can feel like the end of the world. You'll start to spiral and feel like if you miss this deadline, you're going to lose your job, and then your girlfriend, and then your home, and then your whole life's over. But is that really the most realistic outcome? Or more likely, are you just going to receive an email from Linda, your general manager, saying she would appreciate a bit more punctuality? See, things are not often as serious as we feel like they are, so catching yourself before you start tumbling down this path is very important for your mood throughout the day. And if you do have a high stress job, try pick up a hobby. I know it's pretty standard advice, but try and find something where the outcome is not the purpose of doing it. Creative hobbies, for example, have been shown to be extremely good for our stress management and releasing all those feel-good hormones. Not everything has to be outcome driven. The next portion of this book and the next P is power. That was a lot of P's. Power is our perception of control over our actions and our lives. Having control in most people's work environments can be pretty tough, but there are things you can focus on. The first of which is competence. Being more competent can not only lead to a task being easier and less stressful, but it can also provide us with an opportunity for growth and success within our workplaces. There is always space for improvement within our work, even if that means just improving your ability to showcase your talent to the right people. The second thing we can focus on is the process in which we do our tasks. In this book, Ali references the famous story of Reddit user Fillet of Fish 1066. What Mr. Fillet did was essentially automate his boring and repetitive tasks at work, so when he came to work, he didn't really need to do anything. Instead, he could spend his time playing online video games. Now, I'm not recommending everyone to do that, but what he essentially did was take control in the process in which he will get his tasks done. You can decide the process in which you complete a task, how much effort you want to put in, and how much time it's going to take you. Even just knowing that you have that control makes things a lot easier. And the last thing I got from this portion of the book is control over your attitude. Now, I think we all know, of course, our attitude can massively define how we experience things. Essentially, if we think something's going to be boring and tiresome, most often it is. And our attitude is something very difficult to control. Similar to the adventure advice earlier, it didn't really resonate with me because it is so hard to implement. I do think there is a lot of truth to it, and there are ways in which we can manipulate our attitude very tactically, but I don't want to give you advice that I personally wouldn't benefit from hearing, so I'll leave it at that. And the final P that Ali mentioned in his book was people. A journey, no matter the destination, is always better shared with others. We are all naturally social creatures, and too many of us has found ourselves isolated in our careers. Trying to find time to spend with others, whether it's in work time or outside, and sharing our journey with them can be hugely beneficial. Expressing your hopes or ambitions for the future can create this amazing sense of sharedness and purpose with the other person that can drive us to keep going. I will say, however, that sharing your goals and acting like you're going to achieve these things in the future has actually been found in the research to negatively correlate with motivation. Essentially, what can happen is that we almost trick our own brains into feeling like we've already achieved something. And if we've already achieved something, we no longer have the drive to achieve it again, if that makes sense. So just be careful with sharing your dreams. Experience that motivation experience that hard work and that drive, but don't necessarily share the ultimate goal that you want to get to. And the final of the P's, my addition to Ali's insight, is purpose. Purpose has a lot of meanings, and in this situation, I'm not referring to the meaning of life or the reason for our existence or any of that.
The meaning of life is
to live in a mystery and to find purpose.
Instead, I'm simply talking about our reason to go to work every morning. Unfortunately, the reality is that we can't all go to work in fields that we're passionate about. Sometimes we have to take jobs that don't particularly align with how we want to be spending our time. As much as we try to add fun and productivity into our days, it is still easy to fall victim to feelings of purposelessness and existential angst. I had to look up that word. However, there is a way to overcome this by giving our work a purpose. No matter how mundane or trivial your work may be, having a purpose can give us that energy and that motivation to get us through our days. But what does giving ourselves a purpose actually look like in practice? I would argue that most people focus on the wrong outcomes when they're working. Instead of focusing on that paycheck, focus on the things that can be done with that money, the experiences you can have. Now, I'm aware this sounds like some kind of semantic waffle, but research has actually shown that if we focus on the extrinsic or external rewards like money, it can actually quench our motivation and our desire to achieve. On the other hand, focusing on the things that bring us genuine feelings of enjoyment and meaning in our lives, like new experiences or providing for the people we care about, we can massively boost our motivation and sense of fulfillment. Working life can be really tough. Unfortunately, I don't think a lot of us are particularly built for the sameness and routine that working life brings. Hopefully, by implementing these tips in any way you can bring that sense of enjoyment and excitement into your day-to-day life. On the topic of improving your quality of life, I did recently make a video breaking down a podcast talking about the pursuit of excellence and optimizing productivity, so make sure you check it out right here. I hope you enjoyed the video and gained something from it. Perhaps even leave a comment in ways you're going to try and find meaning and enjoyment in your day-to-day life. And aside from that, thank you for watching and have a lovely day. Bye bye.